Hello. Hey everyone. Welcome to The Dream is True, Volume 1, Episode 10 of the blog, but it is actually Season 1, Episode 24 of the show. The two are connected now, so yeah, they both have the same name. So cheers. I'll have a sip of my tea. And we are ready to go on today's show. All right. We got AL on Substack. I could see through the comments. Yeah, let me know how the sound is today. I think I got all this sorted out for you guys now. We should get some kind of volume going in the background. The music should be a little lower than just off in the background. So yeah, the dream is true. Season 1, Episode 24. I am MK Schultz, horror and sci-fi author. And welcome to my show. The dream is true. So I got some cool stuff for you guys, mostly on Substack. Right on. I'm glad to hear that the sound is doing great today. So we'll get started with boom. Okay, yeah, the dream's first breath. Welcome to The Dream is True. The image on the poster there next to me is called the Fruit Pyramid, and this is how I summoned the universe to guide me to my destiny of becoming an author. Wielding the Fruit Pyramid is a call for help when you are unaware of what kind of help it is that you need. For me, call was answered by a powerful realization that suddenly manifested into reality when I finally found the mysterious dream that had been hidden from my true self for my whole life. I found my purpose to be a writer. Join me for more about the Fruit Pyramid and other behind-the-scenes bits from my writing journey right here each week on The Dream is True. And right now we're going to get started on the live show. So that is just a little bit of a preamble. Everything's ready to go here now. We can dissipate the Fruit Pyramid now. And basically, we're going to get into last week's recap. So last week on my show, I read I read chapter 23, The Visit, from Cassius Canics. And so yeah, here's a little recap. I'll be reading chapter 24 later on in today's show, so this is a good recap for you to refresh you from last week. And then I'll go through my books. So last week, Cass gets the notification from the organization regarding his flight details for his mandatory trip. He learns that the organization headquarters is in Germany. Cass spends the day with his family, sensing that things will never be the same after his visit to the organization. Cass travels to Germany, where he is met by Charlie, who escorts him to the organization. When they arrive in a remote location, a secret door in the ground opens up to allow them to enter to the secret underground Pod 1, the headquarters for the organization. Cass meets Mr. O'Ryan face to face. The meeting is mysterious and doesn't yet answer any of Cass's questions. Cass is informed he will undergo 3 days of training behind each of the 3 mysterious doors behind Orion's desk. Cass has supper and drinks at the bar and is informed that he will begin his training in 2 days. So yeah, today we're going to be reading chapter 24, Training, later on in the show. As far as chapter 23 goes, I just wanted to share with you, this is the original manuscript for Cassius Canics that I had printed out after I had completed the first manuscript of it. And in here, I had images for every single chapter that did not get made into the actual book, but I just wanted to show you chapter 23, The Visit. I just wanted to show you. It's an image of his luggage and everything all packed and ready to go. So yeah, the reason those images didn't get in, some of them weren't copyright, I guess, copyright free. So I just didn't want to bother with that with the publication. So that was actually the reason why those images didn't get into the main book, the actual published book. And now, without further ado, I got some cool little image displays planned for you for this. So just my books will pop up on the little poster, on the Pac-Man poster. So keep an eye on the Pac-Man poster for. So my first book, Cassius Canix. So it's a sci-fi book. It's a slow burn that turns into a raging fire and then teases for more. Buckle up is what I always say. An ordinary man's life collapses after he is pursued by a powerful secret organization. The big question is, why him? He gradually comes to understand that he holds a mysterious dormant power within. When an unimaginable tragedy strikes his family, he defies the fundamental laws of the universe and travels through time to restore things back to normal. With cutting-edge technology, supernatural animals, and even time travel, experience a seemingly simple man's journey to destiny and greatness. That's Cassius Canix, which we are reading here on this show every week. And we are reading chapter 24 today. So next up, we have The Fishing Trip. So The Fishing Trip is a horror sci-fi novel. It is part 2 of the Cassius Canix trilogy. This book is a prequel to the first, and it ends where book 1 starts. Super cool character backstories will have you longing for more. Buckle up extra tight for this one. That's what I always say. A routine fishing getaway for 5 close friends turns into a nightmare when an apocalyptic cult drags them into unspeakable evil and despair. Their only hope? A powerful time traveler racing against fate to pull them back from the brink. And that is book 2. That is book 2, The Fishing Trip. And then getting on to book 3. Equilibrium. Okay, so Equilibrium is book 3 of the Cassius Canix trilogy. It is a horror sci-fi. This book is a continuation of book 1 and ties in book 2's revelations for the finale. Will there be more to the story? Nothing can prepare you for Equilibrium. Brace yourself for this one. Cassius Canix and the organization face their greatest threat yet, evil incarnate. An alien being named Dade is determined to rob Cassius of everything he's become. In a race against the destruction of the planet, he strives to restore balance. The fate of the world hangs on Cassius Canix finding his true power, a mysterious power called Equilibrium. And I always say Equilibrium, so yeah, the Cassius Canix trilogy, guys. Here it is. Here it is in all its glory. So I always say, you have to, it's a journey. You have to go along with Cassius on this journey. The whole point is for him to finally achieve his equilibrium. When you get to see what his equilibrium, how it's achieved and what happens and the stakes, and I mean, everything that comes to a close at the end is just really epic and super cool. And I mean, I really hope people don't stop at book 1. I really want people to experience the entire trilogy, and it's available in audiobook as well. If that's your preference, let me know. And just please subscribe to me on Substack and subscribe to me on TikTok, and then reach out to me. Let me know what you think. Please comment. And yeah, that is Equilibrium. Next up, we have The Muse. The Muse is an occult horror. This book is inspired by 80s slasher movies, Stephen King horror, and American Psycho. A depressed writer turns to a life of solitude as a trucker. He calls out for help on a Ouija board in a bid for inspiration. His call for help is answered by an ancient evil that promises genius but demands murder in return. As the body count climbs, only his twin sister can stop him before the Muse claims them both. But is it already too late? And all my books are available, guys, on Amazon. Or if you're coming to one of my book events, you can get them signed in person. More on my next book event later on in the program coming up. Exciting news for that. And that, my friends, is The Muse. Next up, my fifth novel, Hard Copy. Hard Copy is a sci-fi alien invasion suspense thriller. This book is inspired by Gen X TV, 80s sci-fi, conspiracy theories, and modern AI. At a wild bush party in his teens, Ray Higgins was taken by aliens. Now in his 50s, separated and disappointed, he's assigned to mentor Terra, an AI robot. When the aliens return, Ray and Terra expose conspiracies, hidden horrors, and a lizard cult of deception in a gripping story of rediscovery and rebellion. Are you ready to question reality? All right, and that's that one. So yeah, MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, coming at you here live on my show. This is episode 24. Yes, you heard it correct. We've been doing this for 24 weeks straight now, and we're still going strong. Yeah, tonight I look forward to reading chapter 24 of Cassius Canucks. We're getting into the meat of this book, and I can't wait to share that with you. So let's have a look now, moving along on my books in progress. So yes, I mean, I don't have the news yet, but I have a little bit of an update with my manuscript that I have. I've submitted my upcoming the manuscript for my upcoming vampire novel to ECW Press, and I am happy to report that they have contacted me again. They contacted me actually yesterday by email to let me know that I'm going to be hearing back from them very soon, because they're in the midst of reviewing my manuscript. So I'm pretty excited about that. Thank you for the likes on TikTok there. And if you're on Substack, please shoot me a comment or something to let me know you're there, and like it and stuff like that. Just because I have no idea if anybody's. Can't really see if anyone's on my Substack, other than I know A.L. McDonald is, but because he's commented. But I don't know if anyone else is there. So please, yeah, let me know. Let me know if you're there. I'd love to say hi. Marilou is liking my live on stats. Okay, yeah, cool. Right on. So now on to an update for my short story collection. So far, I have about 46,682 words completed for this new book, this new short story collection that I'm working on. So as you know, I finished a little story called The Devil Comes to Town, and it came in at 3,986 words. I think all these short stories are falling below the 5,000 word mark. Some of them are getting close to 5,000 in length, but that seems to be the sweet spot for me putting these short stories together. I kind of like that length. It seems to be enough of a sandbox to play around with, I find, for me. And I'm having a real great time working on these stories. I can't wait to share them with you. It is my hope to share some of these short stories, if not all of them, on Substack to my paid subscribers, to give you something to say thank you for your support. So yeah, please hop on over to the paid subscription if you want to check out some pre-release material from MK Schultz. I can't wait to share it with you. Okay, I've started my 13th story in the collection now, and it is called Alien Interview. So we're back over to sci-fi. Some of the stories are horror and some of them are sci-fi, and some of them mix both genres. So that's a good lead into my next event. So my book event is coming up, guys, on the 13th and 14th of June, which is not this weekend, but the weekend following. And here it is. Get ready. It is called Horror-Fi. One event, two worlds, infinite fear. It is at the Nepean Sportsplex at 1701 Woodruff Avenue, entrance 4, June 13th to 14th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's a $5 admission. And you please come by my table and say hello and pick up a signed book. So I just wanted to say that this event, I'm super excited for this event because there's some celebrities that are coming to this event that I'm going to be posting. Actually, I'm going to post on Substack a little kind of a heads up about this event with some details of who the guests are. There's all I can say is, I mean, there's some cool celebrities that are coming to this event, and they're going to have tables set up. You're going to be able to get their autographs. The one I'm most excited about probably is Lisa Wilcox. Lisa Wilcox, for those who do not know, is she was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 with the original Freddy Krueger, who is played by Robert Englund. And yeah, so I'm super excited to see her and hopefully maybe even meet her and talk to her. That would be so cool to just chat with someone who's been with literally on screen with the real Freddy Krueger. Like, so cool. So I'm going to post something about that on my Substack, guys. Just along with pictures of everyone, all the celebrities and stuff. I have that all underway and on in the works, and I'll be posting that in the next coming days leading up to the event. This is a 2-day book event. Once again, it's called Horror-Fi. I love the image artwork because it's combining the two genres that I actually take part in, which is sci-fi and horror. And I love it. And it's a 2-day event, and there's a lot of stuff there. There's going to be cosplay contests and all kinds of other cool, geeky kind of booths and vendors like me. And it's super fun. So yeah, please drop by and to this exciting event. There's lots to see and do there. And it's 2 days. It's the first time I've ever done a 2-day event. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. Yeah. So how are we doing on TikTok? Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, hopefully you're still hearing a little bit of just a low background music going on in the background there. Let's see, is it automatically going to play? Yeah, that's good. It's playing. Next up, guys, we are coming to part 6 already of the blog, which is kind of like my script for the show. I have her going here on the side. So without further ado, let's get started with today's bookish spotlight. So, today's bookish spotlight is local Ottawa author who I've met at a few events. It is, ladies and gentlemen, today's bookish spotlight is Erin Forget. So it's very awesome to welcome Erin into my world of the bookish spotlight. A little bit about Erin. So I'm going to read, this is all in my blog, but I'll read to you a little bit about Erin at this time. So let me just see if I can, I'll move over to the side here. Okay. Creativity has always found Erin, whether it was through painting, mixed media art, drawing, sewing, woodworking, floral arranging, journaling, crafting. But it wasn't until a trip to Ireland and the UK in September of 2018 she found storytelling. It was her second night in staying in a cozy old brick Airbnb on a cobblestone street in Edinburgh, Scotland, when she had a vivid dream where from the antique store across the street a mysterious object was reflecting the electric blue light from the full moon in the shape of a door on the side of the wardrobe. Of course, Erin awoke before seeing what was on the other side of this mystical door. But she did awake with this powerful impression that she needed to write this story. In January 2019, she found the Ottawa Writers' Workshops, where she devoured every morsel of novel writing knowledge, and within a year, Erin had written her first 70,000-word manuscript. Fast forward to 6 years, and 6 manuscripts later, her novel, The Unsung Song of a Wren, was published. Ever since that trip to the UK, writing has become a piece of her. Erin found her niche, writing mystery Canadian fiction with a paranormal or supernatural twist. Some of the best advice on writing Erin has received. Writer's block is only a fear of bad writing. Don't get hung up on thinking whether your writing is good or bad. Just write. Forming the habit of writing every day will make you a better writer. Write and read every day. Perseverance is key. Your 10th book will most likely be better than your first book. Yeah, all great advice from Erin Forget. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Forget it seems like straightforward, but I'm hoping I'm not getting that wrong. So now on to her books. So we've got we're talking about 2 of Erin's books today that she has provided me with images of. So first off, her supernatural mystery novel, The Unsung Song of a Wren, was released in May of 2025, and it's about a woman who can see who you were in a past life. The inspiration for this story came from a fascination with reincarnation and the idea that we can never truly know if we all have lived many lives before this one. Just checking over here. Yeah, all good. Erin's hoping to turn this book into a series. The first draft of the manuscript for the second novel, titled When a Wren Takes Flight, is almost finished. You can find The Unsung Song of Wren where books are sold. All right, that's her first book, one of her books that we're talking about. And this book is another one. Here's Erin holding up her second published book, and the 5th manuscript she wrote was originally titled Marigold Horizons, but she changed it to Welcome to Marigold Horizons because, as she was going through the finishing touches to send queries out to publishers, she thought this title had a better ring to it, as the line "Welcome to Marigold Horizons" is repeated throughout the story. That sounds great, like a great idea. Erin was inspired to write this novel after watching an episode of 6 Feet Under where a woman who was planning her husband's funeral ends up leaving his remains at the funeral home and drives off into the sunset because we learn she was abused by him. Erin couldn't stop thinking about what would happen to the souls of people not given a proper burial because they were abandoned. Welcome to Marigold Horizons is about 5 souls: a washed-up wrestler, an artist, a sex worker, a German tourist, and a religious cult member who find themselves trapped in Marigold Horizons funeral home where their cremated remains have been abandoned. Over the course of 40 years, some souls make peace with their new existence, while some want to never be forgotten, and some refuse to believe they are dead. The official release date for Welcome to Marigold Horizons is June 30th, guys, coming up in a few weeks at the end of the month. If you'd like to learn more about Erin or see what she's up to, you can follow her on Instagram or Facebook at Erin Forget Writes. Erin will also be on tour this summer promoting her new novel, Welcome to Marigold Horizons. Visit erinforget.ca for her tour schedule and to learn more about her books. So yeah, I was thrilled to meet Erin at the grand opening of Reread Used Books. Erin stopped by my table and picked up a copy of The Muse. I love chatting with my fellow authors. Thank you so much, Erin, for being so kind and welcoming to me as part of the amazing author community. I am grateful for this part of my writing journey. I find it so cool that Erin found her writing in a similar way that I found mine. Almost, it's like a mystical call from the universe, right? Like the dream is true. That's what it was for me. So thank you, Erin, for being my bookish spotlight this week. Just so you know, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got the next 4 bookish spotlights are already scheduled in, and so yeah, people are really loving to do this. No one has said no yet when I've reached out to them. So that's been super cool. Next up, we're on to movies, TV, music, and books. All right, guys. So movies last week for me was 0. I did not watch any movies last week. I had a busy week. I had a bunch of stuff on the go. I managed to get in a short TV series, which I can talk with you about. This is what it was. It's called Bad Thoughts, starring Tom Segura, the stand-up comedian. It gets a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. It showcases a series of vignettes where the stories unfold in a hilariously disturbing way. My take on this series, when I watched season 1 of the show, it cemented Tom Segura for me as one of my favorite comedians. This is season 2 of the show. The show is like a skit format, kind of like SNL, but way darker and way raunchier. It is very quirky and very over the top. If you enjoy Tom Segura's stand-up comedy, you need to watch this series because it is hilarious. All right, on to music. So yeah, I'm following kind of following Iron Maiden a little bit on their tour, seeing where they're at and what they're up to. I've always been inspired and motivated by heavy metal and rock music. My favorite band, of course, is Iron Maiden. When I first started my writing journey, Iron Maiden was always playing in the background. I have always found the lyrics and sound of Maiden to be thought-provoking and inspirational. So a little tour news. Yeah, I grabbed an image from May 30th. Iron Maiden's Run for Your Lives tour played in Bratislava, Slovakia. The band surprised fans with a set list rarity such as Infinite Dreams, which they haven't performed live since 1980. So that is, yeah, they're playing huge stadiums over there. So that's, yeah, super cool. But anyways, yeah, that's an update on them. And then we have my my current read. So I finished reading this book, Vampire Follies, written by Matt Shelding. I finished reading it and I gave it a 4-star review on Amazon and Goodreads. You can find my reviews there of this book if you check it out on the site. Here's my review. This is the second book that I have read by Matt Shelding. Vampire Follies is a collection of 15 quirky vampire stories. I smiled throughout and even laughed out loud a few times. Here is a sneak peek at some of the fun scenarios in the book. A food critic attends a vampire feast only to learn that he is the feast. A vampire lands on a surfer's board and then gets eaten by a shark. So you get the premise of it. It's silly stuff. It's fun. A vampire hunter spares the life of a vampire after falling in love with his daughter. Then there's one, a drone drops holy water on a vampire. And another one, friends share a vial of vampire blood. Another one, a cranky daughter vampire, and more. The last story made me laugh the most. It is about a vampire who falls in love with a little dog and its owner. The stories are quirky, just as the title states, and are also, I would say, young reader friendly. All in all, fun and an entertaining read. So yeah, that's Vampire Follies. So how we doing, guys? Hello, Leaf Dancer. Hello. Thank you for joining me on TikTok. I'm not paying as much attention on TikTok now, but I'm keeping it going because it's an extra way to get me to, I put a little title at the top, as you can see, to get the full experience on Substack. There's a lot. TikTok is vertical only, so you're only getting this much. And then on Substack, you get the wide screen. So I'm loving to play with the widescreen format on Substack because the placement of my images, I have just so much more room. And of course, the other advantage on Substack is the sound. The sound quality is a lot better because I'm utilizing this Audio Technica microphone along with I have an actual a high definition camera as well that I'm also utilizing. But yeah, thank you for anyone who stops in on TikTok or Substack. Thanks so much for joining in. I love it. Next up, okay, yeah, I'm updating my book sales section here every week just because it's nice for me to see that it progresses. Every week I have to change it, and that's a good thing. So far I have sold 81 books in 2026. Thank you all so much. I got my 101st review on Goodreads. I got my first paid subscriber on Substack, and I'm up to 56 subscribers now on Substack. So thank you so much for that. My novel hard copy, like I said before, is now available at the Ottawa Public Library. So that's super fun. And I have now sold books in 8 countries. Canada, the US, UK, India, France, Germany, Italy, and Australia. So that's very fun. All right. Yeah, so all together now, since I started doing this, since I published my first book in 2019, I have now sold 836 books. Thank you so much for that. I'm super excited to reach a milestone for me would be the 1,000th book. I cannot tell you how exciting that'll be to reach that one day. Okay, now we're on to my writer's tip, which is a bit flaky sometimes, but hey. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Nadine, for that. That's awesome. Writer's tip. Okay, here's just for writers out there. This is my attempt at some inspiration for you guys. Always remember that your writing is drawn from all of the experiences you have had since you were born. There are an unlimited number of real-time experiences to take in. The way you interpret these experiences further changes them to your own unique collection of thoughts, memories, tastes, feelings, emotions, sensations, dreams, intuitions, beliefs, perceptions, desires, pains, pleasures, insights, regrets, and even epiphanies. This is what you draw from write, what only you can write. Don't worry about how good it is. That's what editing is for. Just write and remember that it can't be wrong because you are the sole expert on the topic. For no one else knows you as good as you know yourself. And I'll leave you with a little quote from the song Journeyman by Iron Maiden that I always found inspirational. I know what I want, I'll say what I want, and no one can take it away. So that's my writer's tip for this week, guys. A little bit of inspiration. I hope you enjoy. Here, thank you, AL. I love the comments. Every time I get a comment, it's like a little Christmas present. I love it. Thank you so much. Writer's quirk. Okay, so so the writer's quirk is exactly that. It's the life of a writer. I'm sharing my life with everyone here, guys. It's part of my journey, and I'm really having a lot of fun doing it. I hope people will be inspired. I hope people will learn to enjoy my books and my writing. But without further ado, let's get to this week's writer's quirk. So for this week's quirk, check out what happened to the groovy gazebo. What is the groovy gazebo, you may ask? It is from my life and also became a part of my book, Cassius Canix. I do a lot of barbecuing. In the winter, I move my barbecue setup to a shed on my property that I call the Evil Dead Shed. And here's the Evil Dead Shed. See TikTok, you won't see this, but that's the thing, right? TikTok probably will not see my imagery because I'm only doing this on Substack. Yeah, that's not going to telegraph through. The Evil Dead Shed is obviously it's from one of my favorite movies, Evil Dead. And then that's what I do with my barbecue in the wintertime. And then in the summertime, my barbecue setup moves to the groovy gazebo. And here's the groovy gazebo. Yeah, once again, it is something I'm trying to do with my TikTok listeners is to funnel you over to my Substack. So hopefully, maybe this will tempt you guys to move over to my Substack. But yeah, no, you'll get all the audio still. TikTok's not going to go anywhere for me. I'll keep it going off. It's my camera B now off to the side while I focus my energy on my Substack. So the word groovy is also a reference to the Evil Dead movies as the catchphrase of Bruce Campbell. And here is the groovy gazebo in all its glory. Okay, so what's the point of this story? Now we're getting to that, okay? So we had, so just this past Friday, we had a windstorm with 80-kilometer-per-hour gusts. I was just about to head down to the groovy gazebo to cook up some burgers, but my wife delayed me because she was worried about the wind. So I hung back at her advice, and then within minutes of this, we heard a loud sound outside. When I went out to investigate, I saw that a large maple tree took out my groovy gazebo. Here I have an image of what the tree did. It would have taken me out too had I been standing or sitting there. Thankfully my precious Napoleon barbecue was unharmed, and my boiling barrel for maple syrup was also unscathed. In a quirky sort of way, I couldn't help but think that along with my wife, Cassius Canix had something to do with stalling me from being in my gazebo or in my chair at the moment of impact. My destiny has been preserved. The dream is true. So yeah, check out. So you know what? This was the tree. Look how big this tree is. It's a 100-foot tall tree. It's crazy. Yeah, sorry I can't show you guys on TikTok because I'm doing my live on my PC on Substack. So yeah, for any of the imagery, head over to my Substack account. The link is in the bio, and this live is there's way more cool stuff if you head over to my Substack. I'll turn my phone for you guys. Okay, I'll get the image up. Where do we have it here? Let's see. So yeah, it's kind of hard to see here, but oh no, yeah, sorry, it just doesn't work. Sorry. Yeah, just call your wife. Okay, so anyways, I'm not capable of doing that. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, please head over to my Substack for this. So there's the chair that was damaged. So if I was sitting in that chair, you could see, that would not have been good because it's totally destroyed. Yeah. The chair is damaged. Okay. So then what's next? So yeah, the barbecue went on. I rolled up my barbecue to safety in front of the garage, and that was that. Okay, one more thing here. I just wanted to. We're gonna get onto the live reading here soon. This is a beautiful robin's nest that I saw last week. It has 4 eggs in it, and it's a sight that is so inspiring to see in person. And another reference to Iron Maiden I'll make when I was looking at this, it made me think of an Iron Maiden song. It makes you wonder, makes you think. There's more to this. I'm on the brink. All right. So yeah, I'm honestly not paying much attention to TikTok. So if there's something going on there, yeah, I don't know. But the focus is on Substack, guys. That's where the party is. So yeah, if you want to come over to Substack, the link is in my TikTok bio. You can get over here immediately and not miss any of the action, any of the photos and stuff. So without further ado, I think we're going to get on to the live reading. So we're going to pause the music, and we'll throw up the Cassius Canix image, and let's get over to the live reading, guys. All right, I'm going to lean back. Lean back in my chair here. And we are now on chapter 24, Training of Cassius Canix. Cass slept remarkably well that night. On his way to use the facilities, he was reminded of a feeling that had long been a stranger to him, one that was all but forgotten since childhood, until it gave him a repetitive reminder, like a 5-year-old pulling his father's pant leg, trying to get his attention while he was deep in mid conversation with someone visiting. It was a feeling of excitement, one of untainted hope for new and yet still unknown things, but even though unknown, longed after with such passion that the tangibility of their existence was oh so very evident. This same feeling of excitement, once again upon him in his 40s, would not be quashed or minimized by one little iota, he thought. Not by anything, not even by the sight of a completely blood saturated bowl of toilet water. No sirree, Bob. Upon showering and getting dressed, he made his way out to the main bar area he had visited the night before for nightcap when he was greeted by Charlie. Good morning, sir. I hope your night was relaxing and that you are fully rested. Please sit and relax while I fetch your breakfast. Okay, Charlie. Thanks. Sounds good. Sitting at a small table, Cass noticed how bright and cheerful the room was. A lot of natural light was streaming in through the large virtual windows and skylights which enveloped the room. Breakfast was presented to him within minutes on a large white plate. The breakfast could not have been surpassed even by Molina's, he thought, as he hungrily dug in whilst sipping an exquisite black coffee. Eat up and enjoy, sir. You will need your strength for the training, which will begin straight away after breakfast. Orion thought you would prefer getting to it today instead of waiting another day. Sure thing, Charlie, he said, relieved that it would be underway sooner than planned. After breakfast, Cass was escorted by Charlie back to the main lobby where Orion would be seen again, sitting in his big throne like chair. The scene which sat before him, although out of this world, he thought, also possessed a strange familiarity for him, almost like a deja vu of sorts. Cassius Canix, are you ready to begin? Well, sir, I'd like to say yes, but that would be a lie. It's pretty hard to imagine what is in store for me here. So I kind of just really want to get started. So, yes, I guess I am ready to begin in some way. Please have a seat, Cassius Canix. We will begin first with the explanatory portion of the training to give you a little background, which will then be followed by the practical. Cass sat in a comfortable chair. The chair proceeded to recline on its own, making Cass feel like he was at a dentist appointment. Cassius Canix, welcome to your destiny. Every everyone has a destiny, Cassius. The word destiny is glamorized by the world, but that doesn't mean anything really. You see, Cassius, for most people, their destiny is seemingly boring and an uneventful one. However, that doesn't mean it is any lesser of a destiny. Now, does it? Some people are meant to be drunk on the street and die lonely. Some to have a family and to live a quiet life. Some to get a great job and to live prosperously. Some to get a dog and live in the woods and become a sort of outcast, and so on, if you will. But you, Cassius Canix, you are what we at the organization would call a very special case indeed. Oh yeah, no problem. Well, Cassius, okay. If I had to make one assertion about you, one with absolute certainty, I would say this: you always knew there was something out there waiting for you. I bet you always had this feeling inside of you, even when you were a small boy. And I also bet this feeling followed you throughout all the various stages of life, making you feel like you were never fully realizing your potential or doing what you were supposed to be doing. Well, Cassius, let me just say this: you did it. The organization did not find and recruit you. No, Cassius, you found us. The message in a bottle you sent out by way of the fruit pyramid has been responded to now. You made this happen, Cassius. All of it. Your meeting of the engineers and rock, the construction of the pod at your house, the new beginning you are now taking part of in the organization. It was and is all you. You willed it to happen, Cassius. You see, we have developed special technology, some of which you have already seen, and you tapped into our technology without the aid of any device other than your mind. We now have the ability to monitor the thoughts of people through a technology we developed that piggybacks on the ever increasing Wi Fi signals that are continuously growing in today's modern world. We just need a door and a way in, like by means of a phone or other device. And once we are in, we then have full read capabilities. But you, Cassius, you just blew the technology off the charts. You logged in per se to the organization's files not through Wi-Fi or by means of a preset device, solely with your mind. You, Cassius Canix, are the next generation of the organization. I will soon pass, and you will be the future. This is why the training must take place, so as to properly prepare you for the immense role at hand. For your destiny has arrived, Cassius, and all you need to do is take the reins and ride. In order for the training to proceed, you must realize how all that has happened in your past is connected to your future. This will open your eyes to a new future and your destiny which awaits. This will also take you the rest of the way through life on the final course of your journey. Cass didn't know how to process all that was being said by Orion. Part of him, perhaps his limiting side, wanted to just cut and run like he did when Rock first dropped the news bomb on him that day at his house. But he knew there was really no running. That, and to mention, that, and not to mention, a larger part of him really believed that what Orion was saying was, well, was really true. What else? Let's see. Cassius Canix. Look at these symbols. Look at them and tell me that they are very recognizable to you, as I know they are. Then he began a detailed explanatory presentation to Cass, although it was done without speech, but instead through a form of mental osmosis. Oh, okay. Even though, all right. Door one. The game. The displayed image on the door was that of a common six-sided die, like what would be used in a board game like Monopoly or Yahtzee. Die clearly revealed a roll of the numerical value of 3, shown by the 3 bold dots arranged diagonally. What is behind this door represents your early life experiences and childhood, experiences that shape a person. Albeit, however small these experiences may seem to be, they are ones worth paying attention to because they played a large role in transforming you into what you are and who you are yet to become. Door 2, shooting range. This, the displayed image on the door was that of a gun. It was a handgun, the shape of which what that was depicted was not unlike the Springfield Armory model. What is behind this door represents struggle of life. Life is filled with struggle, linked back to the very source of sin which entered this world through the vessel provided by Adam. What is learned from these struggles that we face is what can make or break a person, enabling him to either flourish or flounder. And finally, last, but oh, by no means definitely not last. Door 3, the vault. The displayed image on the door was that of a treasure chest. What is behind the door represents the valuable things in life, the things that really matter, the things that for so many become clouded over by wrongful and deceitful things. Then the delivery of information continued in the same unspoken manner from the mind of Orion to the mind of Cassius Canix. Through the course of the next 9 days, you will experience 3 days behind each of these doors. You will not be alone, but instead will be accompanied in each by a special guest. Throughout the course of your experiences within these doors, you will learn much, some of which may not be immediately clear, but be assured by the time the training is complete, your destiny will be realized and you will know your purpose, and your purpose will be a clear realization of all that you have experienced through life to bring you to this very point. Cassius Canix, begin your journey now, for we have been waiting for you for decades and are very eager to see you fulfill all that is to be. With that final statement, the large door with the six-sided die rolled on 3 began to slide open. The sound made by its opening was a deep and heavy grinding sound. As he watched in anticipation and peered in, he saw dust settling to reveal a black abyss within that looked very ominous. As he approached, he entered in and immediately heard the same sound repeat, but this time in reverse. Once the door fully closed, Cass stood in complete darkness and simply waited for what would take place next. He was not afraid. He was instead eager in anticipation of what would happen next. He looked forward to it, for this was the beginning of an event somehow he knew would always take place. Let it begin, he thought. Let it begin. Okay, and that is chapter 24 of Cassius Canix. So, yeah, next week we'll be heading into chapter 25. So please join me for that. If anyone is on Substack, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. There was some comments earlier on TikTok that um, da, da, da. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, okay. Some weird chatter going on TikTok that I'm not really paying much attention to. Um, Now we're coming to the end here now, so we're gonna stick on the line here for a little bit. I can go through some other stuff like, let's see, yeah, I got some other images here. Da, da, da. No, that's fine. So yeah, so the books again. So we have, yeah, my first book is Cassius Canix. My second book of the trilogy is The Fishing Trip, and then I have Equilibrium. And then my horror novel, The Muse, and then my sci-fi novel, hard copy. And those are all available on Amazon. And yeah, please support my dream to write full time. Don't forget about my next book event coming up at Horror Fi. You can meet me in person and get a signed book, and that would be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you there. let's see. As an indie author, it is my dream to write full time. Currently, I am living this dream. In order to sustain the dream, I depend on your support. Here are some great ways to support my writing journey so that I can continue to publish more books. So please buy my ebooks, softcover books, and audiobooks online or at in person events. And links are all in my bio for those things. Post books, post book reviews on Goodreads and Amazon. Can't stress that enough. That really helps things. And yeah, please support me on Ko-fi by buying me a coffee or tipping me. And there's a link to that on my bio as well. Support me on social media by liking, commenting, and sharing. I am most active on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and X. My links are all in the bio, and yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Any other comments, guys, or questions? I'm opening it up now, so I don't know if anyone has anything for me. I'm hoping someone's got something on Substack to ask me. So if you're there on Substack, please, yeah, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Everyone else who's over on TikTok, yeah, you're not going to get the images that I display off to the sides because I'm on a widescreen format on Substack. So that's why I put that note at the top of the TikTok stream that says get the full experience on Substack, and the link is in the bio. So please check that out. I'm hoping someone will. That would be super fun. But yeah, I am MK Schultz, horror and sci-fi author, and I'm here every week, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, doing this show that I have called The Dream is True. This is episode 24. And basically, I started out by talking about all my books. I've got 5 published books that I spoke about. And then I have 2 other books that are in the works that I'm hoping to get published this year. Um, so, yeah, right now I have some book events coming up that I also talked about. I have one coming up on the 13th and 14th here in Ottawa called Horror-Fi. That has some cool celebrity guests that are going to be attending on that day as well. So I'm super excited about that. Other than that, yeah, I don't know if there's no more comments or questions. I guess we have reached the end of. I'm trying to hope for another person to ask me at least one more question. So if I could get one more question, that would be super cool. Anyone who I am MK Schultz, horror and sci-fi author, and I'm just here to share my passion with you all. So that's why I'm doing this live show every week. This is episode number 24, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Maria, Maria, hi Maria. If you let me know where you're from in the comments, that would be awesome. If you're on Substack, I'm there as well. This whole video gets posted on YouTube and Substack after the live. So yeah, if you've missed anything, you can actually go back and watch the whole thing on my YouTube channel or on my Substack. Preferably on my Substack so that you can support me by subscribing. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel though. And they are both, the links for both of those are in my TikTok bio and here on Substack as well. You can see that. So yeah, without further ado, so um, in closing, so I'll close it off now because I think we're headed to the end of this now. In closing, I now recite the phrase that I first heard on the song Dream of Mirrors by Iron Maiden. It is a phrase that inspires me, and I want to share it with all of you. If you have a dream, don't say, I hope my dream comes true one day. Instead, Say this out loud every single day. The dream is true. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week. And take care.